Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to Korean Central Toy Review. And today we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe celebrating the 30th anniversary vehicle and action figure review. And today's vehicle and action figure review, we're looking at the combat jet Skystriker XP-21F and the pilot, Captain Ace. Now I got this with the help of a friend in the US who bought this for me and shipped it all the way to Malaysia. Retail pricing for the Skystriker is being sold for $49.90. But to those who want to get it in eBay, the minimum pricing is $51.90. But that's not counting shipping yet. And to those who live outside of US, you may encounter priority shipping that may boost up until $100, maybe $110, maybe $120, which is a rather pricey, but not much of a choice because considering the size of it, and you really don't want your packaging to go missing during the delivery itself if you use the first class international shipping. So I have a friend of mine who helped me purchase the Skystriker for me and ship it to Malaysia. So the pricing is a bit more cheaper compared to any other places. So I got it for $95 with priority shipping. So it's a bit more cheaper. So I have to thank to Mr. Impeller69conv, aka also known in Facebook as G.I. Joe Carlos. Thank you so very much for helping me getting the Skystriker to Malaysia, because the Skystriker here never existed in Malaysia at all. So thank you so very much. Now let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging style. Now the packaging, as you can see, is much more brighter compared to the Pursuit of Cobra team. They remove everything for the Pursuit of Cobra team, no longer all black, now it's a bit more brighter. Bottom section of the packaging itself, it seems like a weathered wall, but the middle portion you will notice the images starts to strip apart, and the top section is all in blue background. Now the G.I. Joe logo is a bit changed as well. The G.I. Joe fonts now are all in metallic fonts, and we still retain sort of classic logo for the G.I. Joe logo here, red, white and blue. Instead of white, it's more like a metallic colors for the white section now. Now here we have a huge image of the Skystriker itself, and the details are not that well done compared to a lot of the artwork itself. It seemed kind of a little bit simplified, but it still looks alright. It's very eye-catching because the whole entire plane is being shown there, and the plane is flying, firing all three missiles, the Sidewinder missiles there. And on this portion here stated pivoting air sweep wings. Now for the cockpit itself, you don't actually see the artwork of Captain Ace there because the cockpit window is all tinted up, but you get to see a little bit of this section here where it shows the helmet visor. Here we have a smaller window displaying Captain Ace, and next to it is the artwork for the 30th anniversary Captain Ace there, and he's fully geared up with his helmet on. I really wish that they didn't include the helmet in the artwork just to show his facial expression. I would like to see how it looks like in the new artwork, but too bad. Now from the both sides and the top section there is basically having the G.I. Joe logo and the image of the Skystriker, except for that portion on this side here, we have at least this portion of the artwork showing the cockpit, so I don't need to show that. There's nothing important except for the bottom section, because the bottom section here we have the file card stated on the top section: code name Captain Ace, G.I. Joe pilot, name Brad J. Armbruster, grade 0-3 Captain, birthplace Providence, Rhode Island, primary weapon KFSA semi-automatic pistol. Now in the write-up, this is basically the same as the 25th anniversary. Captain Ace would rather fly and than do anything else. He was a civilian pilot in Alaska, then worked as a stunt pilot before joining the Air Force to become a combat pilot. He has an intuitive knack with any kind of aircraft and an equally uncanny gift as a poker player. He can coax the most out of any plane and almost always hold the winning hand in a game, without even cheating. Very nice, and I really like the new profile card. It looks like a profile card. And here you got a nicer image of, a helmeted Captain Ace. Well, that is not military standard procedure, but whatever. Next to it, we have the rest of the lineup for the vehicles of Wave 1. We have the VAM Mark II, the multi-purpose attack vehicle. We have the G.I. Joe Renegades animation vehicle, the Black Dragon VTOL. And we have the Cobra Crimson His Tank. Very nice. Now let's take a look at the back portion of the packaging. First, I have to move the camera up a little bit because the packaging is pretty big. Here we have a smaller write-up stating, "For speed, precision, and sheer aggression, nothing beats the Skystriker XP-21F combat jet. This fighter aircraft has variable sweep wings that adjust for high-speed flights and tight maneuvers. This long-range strike fighter thunders into the sky for another combat mission." Very nice. And here we have the entire image of the actual, toy itself, the Skystriker, which actually comes with three, description. Here is stated, slide the lever to pivot the wings, the lever here. You have an opening cockpit and includes Captain Ace figure. Now the entire plane is on top of what seems to be the USS flag, as you can see there. Very nice. We are really hoping for a USS flag for the 30th anniversary, but we're hoping too much. And here we have smaller boxes featuring, the plane's features. Wings pivot forward and back, retractable landing gear, figure fits in cockpit, and finally, removable missiles. So, without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the toys. Be right back. And we're back after the figure and the rest of stuff out from packaging. First things first, we'll take a look at the 30th anniversary Captain Ace figure. We'll take a look at these accessories first, starting off with the base stand. Now, even with the 30th anniversary, the G.I. Joe base stand here is still following the 25th anniversary style. You got a nice G.I. Joe logo on the top with two pegs for the figure to stand on. Nameplate there stated as Captain Ace. Now, at the back portion here, stated at the bottom, 2007 Hasbro made in China, and the top section here with a logo CE Hasbro SA with code there C-001D. Now, Captain Ace here comes with, a decent amount of accessories, but most of them can be attached onto the figure, so that's a good thing. First, we have a smaller pistol, which is, nothing new there. The pistol is the same mold that came from the 25th anniversary line. Just a pistol that's made of a black plastic material with no paint job at all. Then we have the straps itself, which is also based on the 25th anniversary line, specifically from the Para Viper. There's a small little peg here to connect to this section here, and the entire thing is made of a grey plastic material with no paint job. Here we have his pouch, his parachute pouch. As you can see, there's a peg here, and you're supposed to connect to the hole located inside here. The entire thing is made of a black plastic material. The details is actually quite simple, but quite nicely done. As you can see, the details there with the straps and wires and strings. Very nice. Then we have another piece for his pilot uniform. This entire piece here is made of a beige colored plastic material, and you can see that there's a bit of paint job going on. The straps are painted in grey, a little bit of black paint job. The buckles are actually painted a little bit of a metallic paint job, very nice. There's a peg here to connect on this section here, and there's a peg here to connect on the other section. The entire mold is nothing new. This is based on the 25th anniversary, well, Captain Ace himself. He actually has this accessory in the comic pack, the Captain Ace with Wild Weasel comic pack. And finally, we have a new accessory. This very high-tech looking helmet, which made of a, well, sort of clear, semi-cleared, I would say yellow or dull, very dull yellow, clear translucent plastic. As you can see there, the entire helmet, as you can see, the back portion is painted in black, very nice. And there are some portions that is painted in grey, and all the wirings are all painted in black, very nice. Now the mold here is all new stuff, very detailed stuff, as you can see there. Now the entire helmet does look like a very, I would say, very futuristic helmet, more towards to a, I would say, an astronaut's helm rather than a pilot's helmet. And when he wears this helmet, it seems to look like that the forehead is a bit too big, which later I'm going to demonstrate. Now let's take a look at Captain Ace's paint job. Now majority of parts there, the beige colored parts, are not actually painted at all. It's just pure beige plastic colored. But the darker colored sections are actually painted, except for the gloves. The elbow pads are painted in black, the straps are painted in black. The section here at the chest here is painted in metallic paint job, so does the back portion, as you can see, very nicely done. Buckle is also painted, so does the straps on the sides to the ribs. Thigh section is painted. Now for the lower section of the boots here, this section, this entire upper section here just below the knee is actually painted in beige color. So the bottom section here is, as you can see, in between the, well, I would say the black straps there are not painted at all. The black straps are actually painted in black with the handle at the back. And of course the boots here is not painted except for the bottom section, which is painted in black. Now for the entire head, the entire flesh tone skin there is not painted at all, just pure plastic color. The eyebrows, the eyes, and the hair are all painted. The eyebrows and hair is painted in dark brown. The pupils are nicely done with the paint job. Very nicely done with the colors actually. Now for the figures mold, nothing new there. First, the head mold is actually based on the 25th anniversary comic pack of Captain Ace. So does the thigh section as well. Now the chest area, and of course the waist area is based on the Resolute Duke, the Arctic, well, sort of Arctic version of Duke from the Resolute 5 pack. And finally the arms and the lower legs there is actually based on the Pursuit of Cobra skydive with no changes at all. So let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head can pivot upwards, down a little bit, side to side, and turn 360 degrees. Torso can pivot forward, back, side to side, as you can see there, and turn 360 degrees. Shoulder joints can turn 360 degrees and lift the arms this high. Elbow joint can bend this far, straight, and turn 360 degrees. Wrist joint here can turn 360 degrees. And the hip joints here can move forward straight to the sides. Double jointed knee that bends only this far. An ankle joint that pivots downwards, upwards, and turn 360 degrees. Now let's fully equip Captain Ace here. First we put in the straps. Button up the strap here. Have him wear the parachute bag, which is very easy. Have him wear this part, and he's almost done. The peg there is a bit flimsy. Put his pistol into the holster there. And finally his helmet. You will notice the helmet is extremely, well, for the forehead section that is extremely big, and I really pushed the helmet all the way in as far as I can go, and it does look a little bit weird because due to the humongous forehead there. The figure is actually not bad looking, despite that it reuses majority of the old modes there, but it's a nice combination of the modes itself, especially on the new parts from the Pursuit of Cobra Skydive figure. And I really like the design of the helmet. It's just that it's a little bit too big on the forehead, but it looks very futuristic, very nice. So overall, if I'm gonna give a rating for the 30th anniversary Captain Ace here, I say it's not bad. He looks very nice with the colors. It doesn't look too dull, despite majority of parts are in beige colors, but it does look believable. It looks very military-like colors, very nice. So if I'm gonna give a rating for this, I'll say I'll give it a nice 8 out of 10. Yes, 8 out of 10 for the 30th anniversary Captain Ace. Next up, we'll take a look at Skystriker. Be right back. And we're back after fully assembling the Skystriker and applying all the sticker labels onto the plane itself. Now I have to apologize the way I shot this part of the video, because on both sides of the video itself you get to see a little bit of my room in the background, because the Skystriker plane, the body is extremely long, and with the wings spread apart, it's really rather difficult to get this in a whole shot. So I have to apologize for that, because I already placed the camera all the way far back, and this is as best as I could, so you have to bear with this, but I can still show each part of the Skystriker's body, the intricate parts of the details itself. So first things first, let's take a look at what's being placed in the packaging itself. We have an instruction manual, but it's a single sheet, but it's a rather big one. On one section it shows the assembly area, where it's rather easy to assemble the Skystriker, very easy. But the back portion is where your nightmare begins, because this is where you place all the stickers. There's a total of 43 stickers that you need to apply. It's not that, well, being that too many stickers, it's just that there's a lot of small stickers, repetitive stickers that you need to apply on, like the nose step area under the wings and the back portion of the tail itself. You have to place a lot of those nose step stickers, which is rather annoying, and there are a lot of large stickers that you have to place properly, like the wings there or the side of the plane. You don't want to mess it up as well. But what's great about the sticker labels is that Hasbro actually thought ahead about this. This is really good. You can actually customize your Skystriker, yes, your Skystriker with sticker labels that has optional sticker labels. So So the first option I already opted for the Skystriker is that this belongs to Captain J brand Armbruster, aka Captain Ace. And also I'm trying to, well, I already placed the stickers to follow as close as possible to the original stickers that were placed for the vintage 1983 Skystriker with the star logo and the G.I. Joe logo. Now you have additional options to place stickers. This is the size of the sticker sheet itself. There's 2 of them, and you will notice not only Captain Ace actually has an option, there's also Duke, Sergeant Conrad Duke Hauser, Dashiell Flynn Farbon, Snake Eyes, not too sure why he has a plane, Hector Shipwreck Delgado, I'm not too sure why a sailor would have a, well, his own plane as well, but no, that's part of the G.I. Joe team there. So yes, you actually have your own optional way to customizing the Skystriker to whichever characters that you need, or even better, you get all 5 Skystrikers and have each, well, one of the Skystriker with a different name. Furthermore, you will notice the stripes of the stickers. We have here black and red and blue and red on the wings there. You can also opt for a different type of colors like black and yellow. As I mentioned before, we have the star logo and the G.I. Joe logo. You can also replace them with the new G.I. Joe logo. And finally, each plane would have, well, each pilot would have their own insignia emblem. So we have also different insignia for each of the pilots. We have Captain Ace's High sticker. We have Flynn's skull with 2 shotguns at the back. We have, well, a killer whale, as you can see there. That's for Shipwreck. And finally we have Snake Eyes here. And Dukes, I opted for Dukes because Duke's sticker looks way more nicer with the eagle there and the, well, red emblem at the back there. Very nice. So it's a very, very ingenious way for Hasbro to actually opt this approach for customizing your own Skystriker. Very nicely done. I applaud Hasbro for doing something like that. It's very nice. Now let's take a look at the vehicle's paint job. There's very, very little amount of paint job being opted for the Skystriker here. First off, as you can see, the cockpit, the black linings there are all painted. All the landing flaps, as you can see, well, at least for this section here, is painted in gray. And also at the back portion of the afterburners, this back portion here is painted in black. And that's all the paint job applied onto the Skystriker itself. But it's actually not bad, because with all the sticker labels being applied onto the plane itself, it looks very nicely done. The overall haul for the Skystriker is actually in grey plastic color, unlike the original 1983 vintage Skystriker, which is all in white. So this one is in grey color with, of course, black tail fins now. The original one will be in white. Very nicely done. Now let's take a look at the entire plane's mold. First off, the mold itself, majority of the mold, not counting the head itself, the majority of the body of the mold itself is, it follows heavily, or at least they reuse the body part for the vintage Skystriker. That was the 1983 vintage Skystriker, the body itself, but heavily retooled, of course. The entire cockpit here is totally different compared to the original Skystriker, because for this version, the 30th anniversary version, this is a single-seater rather than a 2-seater compared to the 1983 version. So it's quite interesting. Furthermore, there are also a bit of changes at this section here, because the original one, you're barely able to notice the gun on this section here, so the mold is more visible, as you can see in this section. So the details are very nice. First things first, let's take a look at the cockpit before we go on to the plane's features. Here, the entire cockpit here is a bit tinted, but you can pull out the cockpit itself. The problem with the cockpit here, this entire piece here, it tends to pop off really easily if you pull it all the way back. Now you notice there's a nice little detail on the cockpit itself. I'm just going to pull this part out. You can see the little bit of details here, the yellow plastic material with black paint job onto the tubings itself. This entire thing is quite hard plastic, but it's still bendable. Very nicely done with the details. You also have 2 joysticks, but the figure won't be able to reach it the moment you place it inside. That's the drawback with the cockpit here. And also you have the screen here. The screen is actually made of a semi-clear blue translucent plastic, which you can flip down like so. Very nice. The seating area is very detailed, as you can see. Very nice. A couple of straps detail mold there. Very nicely done with details. Really love the entire Skystriker here. And rather big, so it's difficult for me to show everyone the details. As I mentioned before, there's a gun in the front here. Also, there's 2 engine covers that you actually can remove, like so. And you get to see the bits of details of the mold of the engine itself. Similar, just like the old 1983 Skystriker. Very nice details, as you can see the wing section here. Very nice. Back portion as well. So also at the afterburner engines there. Let's not forget the bottom section of the plane. I'm going to fold the wings up first, so it will be easier to view. Very nice. What I really am disappointed about the Skystriker is this section here, because as you can see, you get to see this section of the screw being exposed, and I really wish they put more details on this engine intake there. Very nice. Now let's take a look at the plane's accessories. It's a bit more difficult, so I might as well show it like this. Okay, now we have all the missiles and the Vulcan. There's a Vulcan cannon on this section here, which plugs onto this empty slot, as you can see there. We have 2 Phoenix missiles, 2 Sidewinder missiles, and 2 Sparrow missiles. The problem with the missiles, you noticed earlier that I kept fiddling around with the Phoenix missiles because the peg to place on the missiles, the peg is extremely short. That's the modification for the new body itself. They made the peg for the missiles way too short. The attachment for it is, the moment you try to place the attachment for the missiles onto the peg itself, it tends to fall off really easily the moment you tap it. Yes, the moment you tap it, it will just fall off. This one is still okay for the Sparrow missiles here because it's rather tight, but this 4 missiles, the Phoenix missiles and the Sidewinder missiles, are way too easily to fall off. So that's really disappointing now. Now let's take a look at more details of the plane itself. Now right now the planes, all the wings are really folded in, and this is the section where you pull or push to spread the wings apart or close the wings, as you can see there. So the moment I push it down like so, the wings spread apart, and also the wheels all popped out. As you can see, even the flaps that's covering the wheels as well, as I'm going to demonstrate again, like so. And you notice the missile just dropped. Now each of the wheels there can be rolled, so it's very nice. You'll notice there's also a metallic peg inside to support the wheel, so very nice. It rolls nicely, but it doesn't roll very far because due to this, well, I assume the weight for it. Now another problem with the landing gears is that the first landing gear here doesn't close all the way in. The moment you close all the wings in, it has nothing to snap or lock this section up. There's something to lock at the back, so when you lock it, when you pull it apart, when the wings spread apart, it locks it. But when you have the wings closed, there's nothing to lock it. So this section of the landing gear tends to not close properly, so I'm a little bit disappointed on that part there. Now also another thing that I needed to inform everyone is that the whole entire Skystriker's body itself is a bit more sturdier compared to the 1983 Skystriker, because the original Skystriker, it's a bit more fragile. The whole entire hull body itself is a bit more fragile, so if you drop that guy, it will break into pieces. But this one, I don't suggest you to try this on the new Skystriker, but you can feel that it's pretty solid stuff, which is very nicely done. I really like it. It's very solid, plus the fact that it's in gray plastic color, so it doesn't get caught into the dust quite easily, unlike the 1983 version where it's all in white and it tends to, well, turn yellow very fast. So this is a very nice vehicle. First things first, let's place Captain Ace into the cockpit. This is the size comparison for Captain Ace and the Skystriker, and I'm gonna open the cockpit first. What I really don't like is this canopy. It pops off really easily. Now, as I mentioned before, the moment you place the figure, he can't actually reach and grab hold on the joystick. As you can see, it's just touching it, but he can't even grab hold of it, so that's a little bit disappointing there. Furthermore, he's actually sitting really far back, so the head is like sleeping, but it's not such a bad deal actually. It looks very nice with everything on it. Very nicely done. The details are very great, very nice. It still shares a lot of similarities of the mold for the 1983. And if you still don't believe me, I believe, yes, that's the bottom section here. I'm going to close the wings first and remove the Vulcan. It's stated here 2011 Hasbro, and there goes the Sidewinder. Yes, I actually love the vehicle. I really love the details, the sticker options, everything is very nice. It's just the smaller things that really annoys me is because of the very easily pop off, well, canopy here, that the figure can't hold the joystick, the extremely annoying missiles that kept on falling off from the plane itself, the front landing flap doesn't close all the way. So I really do wish that they, well, remodify and fix this part so it can actually lock it in place the moment you pull it. But otherwise, the overall plane looks fantastic. You have options to, well, custom your own Skystriker to whichever figure that wants to, well, pilot this awesome vehicle. Very nice. I really like the new design and the sheer size of it. But I am really annoyed by the missiles there, because when you want to play around with it, and there's no proper way to grip onto the plane itself, so you might accidentally touch onto the missiles and then they fall off. That's really annoying. But overall, the entire vehicle is awesome. So if I'm gonna give a rating for the Skystriker for the 30th anniversary version, I say, despite those annoyances, I still give it a 9 out of 10. Yes, a 9 out of 10, because those are annoying, sure, but they are not, well, to the point that you will well, force it to glue it or anything, or you want to break the Skystriker in frustration. So yes, 9 out of 10 for the Skystriker plane. I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.